Welcome back to the NBA Recap Show. We're going to be doing this weekly, and this is going to be recapping what's happened in the biggest stories basically in the NBA so far. So this week we got Houston. They're on like an 8-game winning streak. By Jalen Green, who's been putting up some monster numbers and some big performances. Like, if he could keep this up, he could be an All-Star next year. It's not like guaranteed because he has a lot of defensive liabilities and all, and like he has some issues because he's not the most efficient. But especially recently, if he can play like how he's been playing right now, but like for an entire year, he could definitely be in the conversation for like not like probably All Star, could be All NBA, but I think that'd be a couple more years. But people are saying, especially with the G League Ignite, that's another news is gone now. So because they've had some issues with like a lot of their stars haven't come in the most developed. Like Jalen Green, we've seen people weren't sure if he was even going to be an All Star just because his development and inefficiency. People thought he'd be good eventually, but like we saw with Jonathan Kuminga too, and who was Dyson Daniels. Some of them came up like they're good now, but some of them, especially Jonathan Kuminga, they're good now, but they came in like very needing more development. So yeah. So yeah, there's another news that the G League Ignite is gone. Like the G League is still there, but there's just their development program. It's mainly like college now is paying their players, so there's less need for like because like the main draw I think of the G League Ignite was basically that players that like couldn't get paid can get paid now. So and can get paid like in the Ignite, they couldn't get paid in college. And they also got the OTE League, which had like a man and a Star Thompson, which showed success. So with that, yeah, it makes sense that it's gone. And also they were like 6-40, I think. They weren't the best team. And I think having all the stars on one team was an issue because it didn't even give them time to develop. Uh yeah, so some other stories. We got Dallas. They've been like really on, and I think this should lead into the MVP race because Dallas has been good, and if they move up the standing, does that put Luka Doncic as the top runner for MVP? Right now, it's Jokic, and I understand they're one of the best teams in the league, and he's been going crazy. But Luka's averaging 34 and like nine, almost a triple double, 9 and 9, and on insane efficiency. Like in the paint, he's shooting better than prime LeBron in the paint for his efficiency, which is just crazy. I know like he draws a lot of fouls, but still, like I think I understand winning, but I think stats eventually should be a big part of it too. So yeah, Luka, the Mavericks are playing well. Kyrie's playing well. Obviously, they got Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, which gave them like a big boost going up into the playoffs. And I think they just had one of the better off seasons probably. If they can keep this up, I could see them being a contender, and I could see Luka if they can get up to maybe like the 4 seed. I don't think they're breaking that top three, but if they can sneak to the 4 seed, he might have a case for MVP. I'd probably still go Jokic, but I would put him 2. Even though Shea's been good, I don't think he has the all-around game. Like he does, but like he doesn't get as many rebounds, and he gets assists, but not as many as Luka. I think Luka's, if you look at the stats, he's a lot more valuable for his team. Like Shea is good, he just has a good team overall too, and he's still the most important. But like yeah, I think they just have a good all-around team. Another thing we can look at is there's a team on the opposite side. Is my favorite team, the Toronto Raptors. They're not doing very good right now. So they're in currently I think a 9-game losing streak, and but even in this, it makes sense because of the injuries of Scotty Barnes. But even like with this losing streak, there are some good signs I've still seen of watching the Toronto Raptors games. Grady is looking very good. He put up 17 last night against the Wizards, but overall he's been looking like one of our better players, and he just looked like he could become one of the better rookies and just an elite shooter in the league in a couple years. He did have a slow start, but I think that's going to keep up and pick up, and yeah, he's just been looking really good. He has good cutting, good defensive awareness. Also, Gary's been playing well, but he's probably going to move sometime in the offseason. That's my guess for some picks or something. So he's probably more of a temporary piece right now. Other stories in the NBA is we got one team is the Celtics are still on top, obviously. They're on a 9-game winning streak. So going into the playoffs, and we'll start talking about the playoffs because those are coming up soon, is who do I have as like my championship? Obviously got the Celtics, they're dominant. But my issue with the Celtics is they're just not a good fourth quarter team. And maybe that'll fix itself out in the playoffs. And maybe it's because they rely too much on threes, but I think part of that just makes them like a negative in the fourth quarter. And I don't know. I could see them getting upset by a team like the Bucks, which it's kind of an upset. They're the 2 seed, but even a team like it might be crazy, but even like the Heat or something, if they just had a first round against the Heat, obviously I'm picking the Celtics, but I don't know. Like it's not like an easy, like I would say, a 5 game sweep. It would be like I picked the Celtics, but it could go either way. So it's hard to say. Sorry, I had some technical difficulty. Okay, we can resume. So yeah, so for some other teams, I got like probably for the championship in general. I think the teams that most people have are Celtics, Bucks, Clippers, and Nuggets. You might be able to throw in a team like the Thunder, but they're probably a little too young. They got like SGA. So yeah, those are probably the main ones. But even a team like Mavericks, Thunder, as I said earlier, and even a team I could see like the Suns being a sneaky contender. Probably not. I think the East Conference Finals most likely going to be Bucks Celtics, but you don't know. So yeah, this was the NBA Recap Podcast. We'll have some more shorts and every weekly videos coming out. If you'd like to consider subscribing, thanks. And yeah, I'll see you next week.